Welcome everybody to the Valencia Pro Circuit B stream. We are here to cover the games that didn't quite make the cut to go on the A stream. And also, people who didn't make the cut for the A stream is myself, Stumpy, and my big main man, Doomsy, who I'm joined by. Hello, Doomsy. How are you doing today, mate?
I'm doing very well, Stumpy. How are you?
I'm doing alright.
Nice.
We had a big day yesterday. We had about 8 or 9 hours. On the main stream, they get breaks. They get to, you know, go and walk around the lovely Valencian arena. They get to chill out and have a really good time. Us, however, we've got to endure it. We've got to continue going. They've got it cushy, all right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we get to walk around our lovely houses, so, you know,
exactly.
It's a real winner here.
We've actually got, by the way, a game that has already begun that we're going to be hopping straight into. After that, we're going to explain what's going on in day 2, because day 1 was absolutely huge. I want to recap that after this game, but we can immediately jump into PSG versus Ground Zero. Now, it looked like on that first game, I didn't actually see who took it. Did you see? I saw it went to overtime.
No, it did it just as we were transitioning.
Oh, okay. All right, it's not gone on there yet. Fair enough. Well, let's hop into that game. We can have a look at what's going on. Because, I mean, the PSG, they had a pretty decent day yesterday. They had a 3-0 versus Childish Gambim Bam, and also then a 3-1 versus Triple Trouble. So they are really, really strong coming into today. We didn't unfortunately get to see them, but that's fine. That's okay. They did well on the A stream. And then then Ground Zero, they had an amazing day. They managed to defeat TSM in losers round 2 in a game 5 OT. They went for like 5 minutes or something. But it just shows how strong that OT region is. And do you think PSG have too much to be worried about from them today?
It's a new day, so we'll see which Ground Zero we see. PSG are like have stepped up a lot. They're definitely improving bit by bit as the weeks go on. So if they play well, they just got to stick to their game. I think. I don't think they should be too worried. But again, like you can't be caught off guard by Ground Zero. But they are 4-1 up in this game, so I guess they know they're pretty comfortable with what they're doing. I don't think they're too worried at this point in time. But we'll see how it goes.
I think the little preview we had of another game was just showing a completely different one that was in overtime. So another game that we saw on our preview was in overtime, but not this one.
So this is game number 1.
This is game number 1. PSG are probably going to win it.
Yeah.
I've also got the mainstream open. Can you be quiet, James Bott? Nobody cares. Thank you. Right. Yeah. I'm leaving it open, and you leave it open though, so I get all those rewards.
Are you writing notes like, oh, James Bott, it's casting like this? Okay, I'll take notes for my cast.
Yeah, to see what to avoid, am I right?
Absolutely.
That first game has gone pretty decisively to PSG as well, 5-1. Doesn't look like we're seeing the top Ground Zero that we saw obviously yesterday, but also literally their first game of the day. It's still early, and if there's one team that I think we can say takes a couple of games to get warmed up, it is certainly going to be Ground Zero. I mean, they lost their first 1 or 2 against TSM. In their game before that, they ended up losing, I think, the first 1 or 2 as well, and then ended up reverse sweeping or getting like 3 wins in a row or 2 wins in a row. So it's not like they're necessarily averse to having to sort of do that late game push.
Sure. Yeah, so they were 1-0 up, 3-0 down against TSM, and then they traded back and forth, and then being 2-1 down, and then came back and won in overtime in the final game. So yeah, I think they're a slow starting team that build up quite a lot. We did see that a lot yesterday, where it was teams, one team would play slightly better than the other, and then so they'd win the game 1, and then the other team would catch up, and they'd be 1-0, and each team was just raising their own quality of gameplay as the series went on. So it'll be interesting to see if we see that again today.
I mean, hopefully they can. I think for the sake of their own hearts, they're going to want to try and not leave it to the last minute and make it so it's do or die. But at the same time, that pressure might really help them. The pressure that, lads, if we don't step up now, we're going to be going out. The format for today as well, it's the same as yesterday. It's still going to be, if you win 2 games, so win 2 series, then you go through. If you lose 2 series, then you go out. Doesn't matter if it's a 2-1 or whatever, that would just be affecting seeding for day 3, at which point it's then a single elimination bracket. Day 3 is where it gets all kinds of juicy.
Yeah, so it's only 2 groups today, since we've cut down the number of teams by half. But yeah, 2 groups, same situation. Oh, a lovely bump there on Farah. Decker there coming in hot. Getting the play into the middle, knocking out Ferrer and leaving it open for Siki to have a nice open net.
Yeah, Ferrer's a little bit sort of left in no man's land there. There were two of his teammates that had already gone over past the halfway line. And I don't know if he thought Decker was going to try and come and cut in and go around the side for some kind of duty dish. Or if he was going to be, you know, just trying to get the pass out. In the end, he just goes straight for Ferrer. And doesn't even need to bother hitting the ball.
Yeah,
but no, it's a really good pass.
It can catch you quite a lot off guard if you're concentrating too much on the ball.
Oh!
But Fruity, though.
This
lovely,
is
lovely.
the nutty Fruity that I love to see. Gets that boost really quickly up from that initial jump as well, and can double touch it before Decker even knows what's going on.
Yeah, really, really good response from PSG there. Fruity, you know, he had his double touch, didn't pop off the ground to double touch, he was mid-aerial as he does it, and, you know, going pretty low off the ground, so he didn't have that much time to think about it, but his recovery was basically was perfectly smooth. So really good job there.
So some of the issues we've seen previously from PSG is the fact that they can double commit quite a bit when they're not too confident as to what their roles are on the day. So hopefully we're going to see that everybody knows what their role is, they're going to be confident that what they're doing is what they need to be doing and not that they're forced to be doing it. So they all feel comfortable, they all feel confident. I've seen a couple today in defence where they're not sure what's going on, and Decker can take full advantage of that as well. Fruity and Ferrer both going for that ball, as I was saying, what they shouldn't do, and Decker can do that beautiful Dominus air roll shot in the top left corner.
Yeah, there's a bit of confusion there in the goal. I think Siki was trying to bump Chaussette, and he was forced to roll himself up. You know the whole bot thing when the AI gets stuck on the goalpost and they go up and down.
Oh yeah.
He was doing a little bit of that and got a bit caught off guard.
A little bit of pole dancing.
Yeah, a little bit pole dancing.
Alright, now Ground Zero, they are up in game 2. Only a minute and a half gone. We're going to see a response from PSG, and Chaussette nearly delivers it. The perfect time. Siki, though, can maybe get another goal, but instead Fruity does manage to intercept. Decker misses the pass, and Jules can move his way in. Fruity on no boost, but steals that flip reset, and does that classic thing of, I've got it, I'll use it. It literally will slow me down and mean that I don't get to the ball as quickly. But oh well. Oh well.
It's the rules of the game, you've got to follow it.
You've got to do it. Also, if you can get the double touch, always go for the double touch. It
Absolutely.
literally doesn't matter if it's going to be bad.
Almost getting the bump there on Siki from Chaussette. Siki just managed to avoid with that.
I'm liking seeing all these interceptions from PSG on the passing out of defence. Ground Zero, because as soon as you can shut that down, it means that you're basically taking a string out of the bow of the opposition. Because then they are not confident that they're able to actually clear it far. I mean, you see there, as soon as Jules and Decker link up, it's now in the opponent's third.
Yeah, absolutely. And we were talking yesterday about how the Ground Zero, how the OC teams love their passing plays as well. So, you know, that's something PSG needs to be wary of too. That was a lovely steal there from Fruity. I mean, I don't think it was quite intentional, because that just slammed it straight into him. But not a great touch from Jules there. He's forced to try to play it close. And Fruity just parks himself on the goalpost. Chausette's like, yeah, you know what, Fruity, have a ball, mate.
That is stealing perfection.
That was a casual steal, that was. He was just chilling. He's pulled up. He was like, Chaussette, this is how you pulled up.
I don't ever want to think of Fruity teaching Chaussette how to pole dance.
That's a very, very weird image.
That will not go down well in the court of law. Another one on target though, but Jules can get up nice and early. It's Siki just trying to intercept as much as possible in the air, but PSG is such a quick team. Fruity, I've seen whenever he's streaming as well, he practices those double touches. We've already seen him get a couple, even just in this game. We didn't see him yesterday on the B stream, unfortunately. I didn't get to catch up with how PSG did on the A stream. But if there was as many double touches as he was trying today, he was going to do pretty well. And Siki and Decker are still linking up with these classic OCE passing plays.
Yeah, there's a bit of a whiff there from Fruity. Kind of hard to read off the backboard. Usually they can be quite difficult when they hit just above the crossbar, because you're not sure if it's going to bounce down, you're not sure if it's actually going straight in, so you have to make those quick last-minute decisions, and unfortunately for Fruity, it caught him just a bit off guard.
Yeah, it can be really hard when you don't necessarily know where it's going to land, or if you land too low, you might actually end up pinching it in.
Oh, that's a comment. I see that all the time. I see that all the time with people on goal.
3-3 though. Every goal that Ground Zero secure, PSG have an answer. Ferrer doesn't even need to touch that one, but it's enough doubt in Siki's mind that he doesn't go up for it to try and clear it, because there's always that threat that Ferrer can clear it even further away, and then it's open net for Fruit to score him. Instead, leaves it Fruit to Chaucer, and now it is even Stevens once again.
It's very back and forth, these two teams, and it seems like each time there's not really any long-lasting pressure between each team. If there's pressure for more than 15-20 seconds, they score. It doesn't really last very long. So both teams need to really sort out their defense.
It's either that or just absolutely cracking offense. You still see a couple of whiffs, but a lot of the goals that are being scored are going to be pretty tough to read, especially with the passes that are coming in. Chaucer has another chance, and Jules messes up originally and then gets the touch.
That's the kind of thing. Like, he was lucky to get that save there, but there was just no spacing going on. They were just all waiting, and they're giving PSG so much space, and Jules had to make. All credit to him. It was a great save, but he shouldn't have had to make.
Oh, it was lucky. Like, there was no. Yeah, he didn't mean to do that.
I mean, he got that first, he just got that first touch.
Yeah, Sicky to Jules. These passing plays, crossbar, and down. That placement, I thought that was going to be a save by Fruity, to be honest. I thought that was right in the middle of the goal enough. But, sorry, by Ferrer. In the end, though, it could go above him just enough with that speed as well. 76 off the crossbar.
That was a lovely placement there. I really thought it was going to be saved, but I guess it just skimmed over Ferrer.
And now this 20 seconds is going to be do or die in game number 2 for PSG. Are they able to secure one more goal? It's been back and forth so far. Will it continue to be back and forth?
Oh my goodness.
Not quite, but Fruity. Yeah, the block though comes out from Decker. Jules in the corner needs to get a quick clear. Does not manage to. Ferrer can get it central. Chaucer is up by the block by Sicky. Goes high. Decker gets another block. It's still in the air. This is still threatening. Can Ferrer go? Yes, he can. Fruity is there. And he gets it under the crossbar. PSG are the buzzer beaters of game number 2, but can they get the game in overtime?
Ground Zero just getting completely boosted up there. Jules had to make he had to make 2 saves with less than 20 boost. Decker and Sicky also had no boost, and they just couldn't get back in time. PSG were chokeholding them, so it was a really good play from them.
I mean, look, so far we've seen goals get traded, so in theory, Ground Zero still win this game.
That's not the overtime way. Overtime always switches every time. It always goes back. Yeah, PSG got this. Mark my words.
PSG do like.
It's wide open. Oh my goodness me! What? There's just so many open nets coming in. They're just giving PSG so much space in the middle.
Do you reckon they're getting a little bit worried that actually they were so close to securing it, and then it was kept up for what, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds?
Maybe, because I think usually what a lot of players do is, when they're a bit nervous about an overtime, they don't want to overcommit. They'd be very passive and they wait and goal. Yeah. But if 3 players are waiting around, they're just giving your opposition so much space.
Yeah. Well, actually, bear in mind, all the ball needs to do is just literally hit the floor. It's obviously a lot easier to say than actually do it, but if the ball does just hit the floor, you are done and you are finished with it. That is a nice block by Decker. He does get the touch for it.
Good. That's good speed from Sicky there. That was good. Great speed. That's what we need from
also, we've got to mention, I saw Gibbs say, and I was posting on the subreddit yesterday, and Gibbs was saying that Chaucer is using the new crate car and it's a little bit pay to win. I've not seen much come out from that car so far in competitive play because obviously it is so new, but I like the fact it's a viable car to use, and Chaucer is showing that it is viable.
Oh my goodness, these saves. They're just Ground Zero just smacking balls left, right and centre at PSG, but they are a bit central. They need to probably work their way around a bit more, draw them out before they go for these kind of shots.
That's such a chavvy looking car. It's like a little goal. Souped up little goal. Sicky gets on target, but that is weak. Now he has no boost. We're going to need to return. Fruity sends it long. It's an open net. But he misses it. You cannot leave them open off. And now, I guarantee you, Fruity said that was open. And now they know that that's going to be an opportunity they will be able to take advantage of in the future.
Well, that's not
an isolated incident.
No, exactly. The Ground Zero, the positioning is just very kind of awkward at the moment. They're either they're bunching up, but then they're just leaving the space in the middle.
That space in the middle will end up punishing them as well, as this 9-goal extravaganza ends up falling the way of PSG. Ground Zero had it pretty much up to the wire, but couldn't stay as defensively minded going into that buzzer beater. PSG score it, and then 5-4 with just over a minute gone. And Doomsy, you were right. It does switch. PSG did get 2 goals in a row.
Mate, this is why you have me. This is why I'm casting.
I also didn't have a
apparently I know what
choice
I'm
in the
talking
matter,
about.
bear in mind. Like, sort of, you were contracted to sort of work alongside me. I didn't actually request it.
No, that's
But it's okay. It's alright. So PSG taking 2 games in a row now. I feel like a 3-0 would be a little bit criminal, but Ground Zero aren't the kind of team to go out with a whimper. I think we're going to see a couple of games come through from them. Would you agree?
At the moment, it's interesting because Ground Zero really need to sort out that defense. That last goal, that was a little bit of a different situation. Siki was a bit caught under the ball, and he didn't. I guess in that case he pushed out too far, and the ball went for a bounce the ball off the corner to Fruity. You're basically stuck under the ball and you can't do anything. And means that when Jules is in goal, he's like, okay, well, if you got the ball, have I got the ball? Like, what are we doing here? And so then by that point it's too late. But they need to get that little midfield play, that midfield presence going, just that mid area of their own half. Cut out those passes, go for the ball fast as first man, and spread out. Their first man isn't rotating back far enough to cover the third. There's been a few times where they've just had an open net, and PSG haven't quite been able to capitalise on it. But you don't want to give any team an open net.
Yeah, I really feel like we're going to see some more capitalisation on that sort of free shots. If they can just get a couple long hits, then we're going to see maybe a little bit of a different game number 3. But game number 3 is what we are into now. And the first chance goes the way of Ground Zero. Siki takes it away from Decker. Then Jules tries to go for dunk of the day. Can't quite get anything there. And now the counter-attack is going to be able to form for PSG, but no one's there to continue with it. And bear in mind, Ground Zero are now the longest-lasting OCE team we've got in the tournament. Renegades have gone out, as have Chiefs. Renegades sort of bowed out in not too much style, and Chiefs went through to a game 5. Again, a spectacular against Dignitas, where it was, I think it was a 5-minute overtime, and then CJ just didn't have the boost in the net, and he was making some incredible saves throughout. So Ground Zero ended up beating Chiefs in the OCE League play to get to RLCS. So they're definitely a team that are going to be hard to beat, but Chaussette is learning from the OCE passing style, and Ferrer can score.
Yeah, he's using their own tactics against them there. Just takes it around Siki. Chaussette in the middle to Ferrer. That was great play there. As we were saying, the midfield options are going to be quite open for PSG, so it's good for them to see them capitalise on it.
Get the double. No, Decker can't quite secure that, but Jules can get it central again. Not quite over the top of Chaussette. I do like... Oh, that is such a nice touchdown. Just that. I was a little bit curious as to why he went up for that when he was directly underneath it. But then it has worked out very well, actually. And Jules cutting up 1 and taking 2 out of the game by stealing Chaussette's boost, but can't quite get it past the defensive titan, the behemoth, the totem pole of a man, Fruity.
The totem pole of a man, I love that analogy.
It's like if you made a man out of beer cans, you would get Fruity. He's just so big.
Would it have to be fruit-flavoured beer, though?
Yeah, it'd be like coffee notes and stuff. Other fruit-flavoured beers and ciders are available.
Oh,
they're just not as good.
But yeah, what if you just wanted to stack it with hydration bottles of water?
Oh, that's very true.
That
means that you're not allowed to join Team Vitality is the only issue there.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah, no. Bit of a shame. Decker getting the demo on Fruity. Goes to the air duel, but saved by Chaussette on the line. Jules can't quite get that in. Siki towards the net. That is very nice, and Decker tries to drop it down. Jules' aggression. His turns are happening really quickly, and he's not moving out too much. Do you think that's an issue, or is his maintained pressure actually doing them a lot of good?
It is good, but if he's quick overall, it'll be good. Like, he has to be quick to go back as well. After he makes a play, and as long as he doesn't commit too hard to what he's doing, so that his recovery takes ages. And again, the key thing is, like, a lot of strategies can be effective as long as the whole team knows about it. Like, a lot of the situations that happen in Rocket League where things don't go to plan is because one person has an idea and the other 2 players have a different idea. And either option could have worked. They just had to all be on the same page.
Yeah, I guess that's when you need to address your communication if that's happening a little bit too often. We've seen that previously, like I said earlier, with PSG, where they double commit for certain things where it shouldn't be a double commit, really. That is a pass and a shot. Chaussette didn't do a very good job with that. He reversed and did the classic, I don't know what on earth to do right now, and just sort of hit it. Where really he should have just sort of taken control, dribbled into a back corner. Jules again with a shot, but Chaussette showing that he is defensively minded, and that was just a one-time error. until
finally they get in.
full advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some good saves coming out from Chaussette here. A double commit, unfortunately, from Fruity and Ferro there, and Chaussette going up, expecting an earlier hit from Jules. Probably because because of the double commit, he may have panicked a little bit there. But Jules takes full advantage of that and just plunges it into the open net. One all though. 1 minute 25 seconds left. Trading goals again. We'll see if PSG will get the next one to continue the trend, or if Ground Zero will stop it in its tracks.
This game looking a lot closer. Less of a... There's not been 8 goals scored in regulation this time. So we're seeing a few more defensive players come out. But Jules, again, that aggression is being rewarded so often. In the past, Ferro technically, it seems hard to push it on him because he did go to the block. But the placement from Jules is, once again, absolutely astounding. God, that is a Xavi car, isn't it, from short set? Jesus, man.
If we need Ferro's paint job on Chauzette's car, then you'll have just the prime Xavi car.
Oh my god. I mean, you know where I live. The amount of cars I see that look like that in my area, it is not nice. A chance again going out for Ground Zero. They're keeping PSG at bay right now, preventing any of these shots. Chaussette stealing one boost, drops it down. Now Siki is low because of Chaussette. They need to stay somewhere near the back. He was really hoping 10 seconds had passed and he could pick up that 100. Fortunately, it hasn't. The Fruity is just taking the nick now and just trying to get a bump on him. Going to throw him off, and Chaussette again stealing the same boost. Should be big now for PSG because they are low. It's the central Chaussette though is not there enough, and Siki can get a pretty decent clip.
Yeah, Ground Zero need to be careful here. You know what they're like in the final seconds. Lovely touch from Decker though. Unfortunately, no one's following it up, but that's understandable considering they're just trying to hold their lead at the moment. Hopefully, for their sake, they won't overextend themselves or give PSG too much time, you know, if they're getting a bit passive. But at the moment, they have got the pressure on. They're doing very well to keep it in PSG's half.
This is really, really well played. Now, this though is crunch time.
Siki decides to keep it up. Bounces just on the corner, unfortunately for them.
No,
Fruity,
they do not.
They don't do this. Siki, great touch there. Comes out of nowhere there to slam it down, denying PSG that win. And Ground Zero get their first win of the series.
Now we said... Now firstly, this scares me, right? Because there's the team that really turn it on in the later games, Ground Zero.
Sure.
And there's the team that they literally can't get enough of being reverse swept. And that's PSG. So those two, they are a match made in heaven if you're Ground Zero, or they are something you never want to encounter if you're PSG. And the fact that PSG did not shut it out in Game 3 does have me worried a little bit for how they're going to deal with this mentally. But it does seem from their interviews of them previously and their performance at Worlds that it is almost a case of, look, we know we get reverse search. We know that's an issue of ours. We are starting to learn from it. And it's certainly one of those cases where we've seen in other esports, there's sports psychologists come into teams and they do a really, really good work with a lot of them. So if PSG have been talking to a sports psychologist or just had somebody come in and just really make sure the mentality is in the right place, then this might not be an issue. But there's always that thing in at least my mind, or I think a lot of other people's minds, where they're like, PSG really do like sort of dropping the final three.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the reason may be, you know, there's something for them to address for sure. But at the moment, like, Jules has been stepping up for Ground Zero. He's turning on this aggression. I think he's realizing that they're tuning down. We can't just play passive and give PSG space, and you know we can't. We're tuned down. We've got to go. If we're going to go out, we'll go out fighting. So you know, well done for Jules to keep up the pressure. We'll see if he carries that on. Yeah,
Jules definitely seems like the aggressive player on that side, at least there anyway. Sure,
oh, that's a shot! Oh, the crossbar. Unlucky for Chaussette though.
Oh, I love it when it's that quick and there's constant boosting like the entire time, and it's just the most perfect shot. Shame that it hit the crossbar in the end. But now, after like 40 seconds, we've had really good chances. It was sort of bumbled towards the line for PSG, and then it was obviously that fantastic shot by Chaussette for PSG. Sorry, the first one was for Ground Zero. So there's an opportunity here though, as
he's got no boost.
Bumps. No boost going to be the issue.
He's still opting for the double there, Siki. Trying to get some sort of 50-50, but you know, gets rid of all the boost that he had. Luckily, has 100 in the corner to pick up. allowing him to get an air dribble 50. The double commit again, though, from Siki and Decker. Lovely touch there.
These touches by Decker, like, when they're just sort of coming at him, are doing his team a lot of good.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's little touches that we need to take PSG off guard a bit, you know, not give them space.
Okay, that wasn't ideal, Fruity. He's taken a leaf out of Ignite's book from the past couple months as opposed to Ignite's book from a year ago. Get the new version, mate. Don't skimp out. Sure set. Going for a flip reset, but it was nice dunk in the end anyway. So trying to get it on the side of Decker. Doesn't quite manage to as Fruity catches it in the air. Not looking like the switch boost starving going on against Ground Zero, but that does not matter as Sure Set uses all of his to get the first goal in game number 4, and this should instill that confidence that they are able to score it. And Decker with a backflip.
Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. Those ones will be really hard because often you expect it to be in the corner in front of you. That's like the easiest place to be. But if you're right in the middle of the goal, something right above you can be probably the most difficult, or just behind you.
There's now 3 minutes on the clock.
Oh,
who are we going to see coming
Oh my
out?
God.
And that is another fantastic corner read. How hard are these two? Now we've seen Fruity and Yukio do something like that.
I mean, that was like, he couldn't quite get the power he needed there to get a slam in, but it didn't mean. But you know, it didn't matter. In the end, Siki just missed that ball, trying to save it. Unfortunately, probably expected it. You often expect those hits to be a lot faster than they are, so you jump ahead and they can catch you off guard. So sometimes just a slow ball can be even more effective than actually drilling it at top speed.
Yeah, especially when he obviously knew that Ferrer was going to be following up as well. It meant that obviously the bump was attempted by Ferrer, I think, sort of on the ground, but in the end he didn't actually need to get it. He can just do a fantastic steal instead. Sure Set nearly get his nose to that from the Chavmobile. Now Jules sending it over towards Decker, but doesn't catch the nose this car, instead side flips into it. Nicely quickly up by Sure Set. As one thing I've noticed from Big Man French Socks is that he's able to, whenever he goes up for something or when he goes to land, he's always got boost in mind. So he always like flies up via another boost. So he's just got that 12 or that 100 if he's placed himself really well to give him that advantage going up. So essentially his tank is 112 or just way more. So if he was on 50, it'll be 150. So it's really, really well played by Sure Set just to have that awareness of how to go up as well. We also, by the way, have some updates from the Randy Gibbons River Rats game versus Ghost. Randy Gibbons River Rats are up 2-0. They're won in OT 2 times in a row, so that's just one more for them to go through to our semi-finals. And otherwise, in this game, 3-0 for PSG, looking like they're breaking that curse.
Yeah, 3-0 is going to be a hard deficit to come back from, especially for Ground Zero, if they're going to keep up sort of these double commits that we're seeing at the moment. And just a little bit of lapses there from Jules. Had the zero boost. He got caught on the crossbar there. Ended up getting rid of his flip. So
yeah, it's definitely a mentality thing at the end of the day, and thankfully for them, their mentality has managed to shift as they are going to win this game at least 3-0. With just 5 seconds left. Never mind, 4-0. I did say at least, to be fair, so I'm not...
every time you say what the score is, Stumpy. As you're saying it,
okay.
big score. So I think we know how to, you know, if you're rooting for a team, Stumpy, just say what the score is, and they'll get another goal for you.
So with 6 seconds left, PSG have obviously secured this game. PSG are going to be going through. We can also update you as well on the score for the Randy Gibbons River Rats game. Ghost are going to win, basically, game 3.
What's the
So
bold
now
prediction,
it is 2-1 in favour. I'm just going off what our production team